Hey guys, it's Greg, Danny, and Joe here from Ritual Gaming, and we are bringing you After Hours.
After Hours.
I think it's suitable to the After Hours title that I can't remember how many of these we have done.
One.
Two?
Two.
This is the second?
Second.
Yeah, we're really good at counting.
You've had some juice. We've had some juice. Let's do this.
We've got a piece of cardboard covered in names.
Don't show them.
Don't show them.
Yeah.
They didn't see it.
Yeah,
they didn't see it.
Don't pause there. Just watch. It's more fun, I promise.
Alright, so for this After Hours, we decided that we wanted to do a top 10 of characters that we think are just there. Almost there. Really getting close to being playable, getting close to being, used in Galactic War. Well, you know what? Anybody can be used in Galactic War. We're talking more about PvP, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is,
And maybe raids.
Maybe a bit
so
of raids.
many characters
Looking at
that
this
are
list,
almost there.
basically none of them are used in the raid.
Yes,
But we're talking
Yeah.
about characters that we think are cool in the movies and the comics that should be like way better than they are.
Yeah. So let's define those. Our parameters, let's say, for this is that, number one, we want these characters to be interesting characters that we find in the Star Wars universe that we wish were a bit more prominent in the game.
Yeah.
And number two, we want their kits to be interesting kits where we want to play around with those kits. There are a lot of characters in the game.
A lot of them are guys who have interesting kits.
Yeah.
They're just ineffective in the current state of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're definitely characters where you play with them sometimes in Galactic War and you're like, wow, you can do some pretty interesting combos.
These aren't
with
assist guys with decent DPS.
Yeah. They're not Genosian soldier, your, peanut butter and jelly sandwich doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, one thing that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches do that Genosian soldier doesn't.
Tastes good.
Tastes so good.
Yeah, it tastes so good.
I bet he tastes like garbage.
Oh, he does like a...
He probably smells like a big heaping pile of hot street trash. Yeah.
Wow, no joke. We're sitting here at Joe's apartment and I got distracted there because there was a very odd scene going on in that window.
Was it the really muscular people that never wear clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to my window. Yeah. You guys got to see what's going on.
Come over to Joe's house and check it out.
After Hours.
Yeah. After Hours, they walk around shirtless and make coffee.
All right, let's ignore him. And get back to the video here.
Out there.
He just waits in the window. Yeah.
I feel like he was directly looking at us. Anyways.
He probably was wondering what's going on here. If you can see what we are seeing right now, it's very weird.
Yeah, that's true. We should do a little room tour of how many juice cans are here. Alright. So, let's start with number 10.
Yeah.
We're starting with number 10, my favorite character to pronounce. Danny?
Oh, I was hoping he would say it. Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
I wasn't going to fall into that trap.
Ahsoka.
I'm smarter than
You
that.
just keep looking out the window. You're going to keep your eyes off the window for the rest of us.
Pay attention.
If we're in mid-conversation and you just see Greg going, I just
it's already like 4 minutes of us not talking about our topic.
They are making coffee with no clothes on. That's what they do.
Okay.
I've seen them do it all the time.
Odd people.
Yeah.
Okay. Ahsoka. So, Ahsoka has some pretty cool moves that she can do. Yet she's being held back in some ways. How do you think she's being held back, Joe?
It feels like, and this is probably going to be a recurring theme with a lot of characters in this list, is that she feels like all of her skills are really good on paper. Like, she's going to do that AoE and heal.
Yeah.
She's going to...
But not enough.
But not enough
for
it to be effective. She's going to attack.
And not at the right time.
And not at the right times, especially on defense.
Yeah.
And a lot of these characters actually suffer from the same thing. When we get towards the top especially.
Yeah.
They really suffer on defense. They just do dumb things with their abilities at the wrong times. And then when you're playing them, you want to use her ability, and then you do it, and you go, and it doesn't quite have the effect that you want. Now, I got to confess, I don't have a fully starred Ahsoka. I have not used them myself. You do, yeah. And our friend Brian definitely does.
Oh, Brian definitely does.
Magma Brian, as we call him. The man we had to persuade not to use his 5-star Vader in his arena team just today. That guy. What a ledge.
June 3rd.
June
by
3rd.
now. Yeah.
2016.
Yeah. No one
But
is
the date.
People a year from now will be like, well, that was ridiculous because 5-star Vader is amazing. You know?
Anyway, Ahsoka, she does everything right, but nothing right.
Yeah.
Like she comes at you. She looks good. She's got that like hair
She
that's
spins.
also a hat.
She's going nuts.
She spins. Oh, she's
Yeah.
good at that. Like you, and again, like our other parameter that we're looking at is you love her from the Clone Wars. You know, she's like 50% sweet and cute, 50% badass. Like everything about her you want to love.
You would
And
fully approach her in a bar and chat her up.
man,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh,
I
no
bet her
problem.
hair smells terrible, but apart from that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she like I'd be into it.
A bar in
And-
Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rude.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it PC.
The dreads and things. That's what I was going
Oh,
for.
you're going for the hippie vibe.
Yeah,
I get it.
the traveler.
Oh,
I was.
yeah.
Hey,
Those
where's
guys
your
are
mind?
awesome.
You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just heard the word Thailand. I got presumptuous. I think that she could be so good if she just had a little more. And this is such an obvious fix, but just a little more damage.
Yeah.
Come on, just
Little-
a little more.
She doesn't need anything else, really, to
Yeah.
just give her a bit more pack to that punch,
Yeah.
and she would really take off. And I feel like
Especially
people
in
would...
Jedi comps.
Yeah, exactly. And people would decide that her flaws are worth the gain. That they're
I
gonna
remember
get.
when they reworked her, and it was like, oh, she's got all these new buffs at the beginning of every match.
Yeah.
But it just didn't matter. Nothing
No.
changed
Mhm.
at all.
And I think a lot of people, too, when that first came out, were like, what do these mean? Oh, it doesn't matter. She's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we didn't really touch on the health, but that's another issue.
Yes,
Yeah.
the health is an issue. However, the protection introduction, which we, as people that have been playing this game for a long time, we kind of forget every once in a while that that's, it hasn't been around forever. There was a time before that this didn't exist, and when that did come out, her protection it's okay. It's not the worst. And I feel like if they did amp up the damage, then people might run her in fringe comps with the idea that, okay, yeah, she might die and she'll be terrible on defense. But a lot of good offense comps are terrible on defense, except for the most boring, bland, old Ben, Dooku, blah.
Well, anyway, Ahsoka, because if we do 10 minutes per character, we're going to be here a while.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the neighbors that took up our time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Great,
Time.
ridiculous
Let's let
bastards.
it- Look at him. He's so muscular.
All right.
He's hanging out there again.
I
Oh
tried-
my god.
Yeah.
All right,
Boys.
all right.
Tough guy. He's a tough guy. I wouldn't mess with him. I'm not going to tell him to stop doing it. Beat me up.
Strong man.
Yeah.
All right, Talia. Number 9.
Talia. Remember her?
Talia number 9.
The
Yeah.
one they gave you
Yeah.
when you started the game?
She was the one that you thought, man, I'm gonna put some resources into this chick. She's gonna be so good. And
yeah,
then you got
level
to
20 me was way into Talia.
Oh my god! I was
Yeah.
like, you were my best friend on the dark side challenges.
You
And then-
attack and you heal?
Yeah.
Whoa!
And then you get to level 40, and then you think, you don't do it very well though.
Yeah.
You're not
You
very
neither
good
of
at
which
it.
very well.
Another
You punch
perfect
yourself
example
in the
of
face.
the AI screwing you over.
Oh my god,
Well-
Talia healing herself when she's the last person left
Yeah.
is the worst.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore though.
No, because
And
no one runs
They
her.
they fixed that. They,
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely did. Yeah.
After
fixed
everyone
that.
stopped running her.
After everyone stopped running her, they fixed it, and it didn't even matter. It didn't make her viable.
Yeah.
Now, what could make her viable? Now, I feel like the easy choice would be to say more damage. I feel like we're like...
I feel like she's not in the case of more damage. Her
no.
damage was always pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was
I
okay.
think
She has a finisher.
Every Night Sister has tons of health except her. I mean,
Yeah.
her health is okay,
Yeah.
but it could be like if they just amped up that health, boom. She
And
might
it
be
would
viable.
make sense, too, because she is a sacrificial healer.
Exactly.
So what would make, what I think would be really cool is if the more Night Sisters you ran with her, the less impact her self-damage would have. Or it could even give buffs to the other Night Sisters. So it's more like, she does her whole like, get better by me
Yeah.
hurting myself thing.
Yeah.
And then,
Taking back Sunday vibes.
but she like,
Good reference.
Yeah,
That's
good.
good.
Welcome to 2002, guys. And then she buffs the rest of the Night Sisters apart from herself, or something like that. Like some way that her sacrifice is
I would love
everyone
that.
else's gain.
Because
Yeah.
we've been hopefully we're gonna release these episodes in the correct order. However, we just did our other episode 14, Need for Speed, or The Return of Speed. What did we call it?
Need for Speed, the thing we just did like 10 minutes ago.
It's like a whole thing where we use
Might
the
as
name
well
of another
been
video
3
game.
hours ago, I'll tell you that. But it's definitely something like that, a unique where, even though she has this ability, a unique that directly affects one of her abilities. That would be really cool, where the more Night Sisters you're running with her, the less damage she takes from her sacrificial heal.
Or something like that, yeah. Or as she does it, she buffs them. Or something, in some way. They will get a fence up while she cuts herself.
Whatever it is.
You know what I mean? Like, she stabs herself through the heart, and then everyone else goes like... Everyone gets speed up, even. Just speed up. Something not as effective as a fence up.
Or a way for her to regain health another way, so she can then take it away.
Yeah, because there's no other...
Like that's great.
That's what DAC is for, but...
Well,
yeah.
But it'd be cool if the Night Sisters all kind of like fed off of each other. To make like a synergy team, not just I'm just going to run Daka because she stands and revives.
Because she's good.
Yeah, she is good. But anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Talia.
So,
number 9.
Talia, and I think what I like about Talia too is from the get-go, I love characters like that where they hurt themselves to help other characters. That's
a true tank.
Yeah.
But she's not tanky at all.
Yeah. So the next one says number 8, Lando, which I'm going to say Lando.
It was Ahsoka and then crossed out. And
Lando.
So we were a little, we couldn't decide with this. But number 8...
We knew Lando had to be in there. That's
Lando's got to be in there. Yeah. Number 8, Lando. Man, because Lando is so cool.
He's so close as well. Yeah. Like, you see his name thrown around a lot in, like, theory teams. Like, at least amongst the community that we're a part of. A lot of people now, especially with Dengar coming out. See episode 14.
Yeah.
Like,
he feels
like
cool.
He just like that crit storm idea of a team is so appealing.
And then his cooldown resets, and he gains like oh my god.
But there's no way to pull the trigger on it right now. So maybe he doesn't need retooling. We need more characters that can.
Work around.
He definitely doesn't need retooling. You know what I mean? He has such a cool kit.
Yeah. He needs other characters that can make him tick.
I actually... Do you guys know very much about his health at higher levels?
I guess that's one of those things that, as a result of him never being used, you don't get... You know how you have that natural feel? Like, once you... If you're watching this and you've played this game enough, you just, like, know what it takes to kill an RG.
I judge everything on, like... How badly they can take a IG-86 assist.
Yeah, or like whatever team it is that you use against them, you go like, well, I know what it's going to take to kill this RG. I know what it's going to take to kill this Han. I don't have that feel for Lando.
But, okay, another thing, quickly, before we move on, that Lando has, is he's one of those characters that it needs something to happen in order for the next thing that's better to happen. It's just one of those setup characters that's too slow.
Yeah.
Like Vader. Why we told our friends to take Vader off the team. He's like, yeah, but if he hits, he's so strong. Yeah, but he's got, like, it's got a whole building block before
that is one thing that doesn't really exist in this game yet, is combo teams.
Yeah. Because, as we said, the need for speed is back.
Yeah, if we're reverting to just, like, game tropes, like, we have, like, tank teams. We have DPS teams. We have aggro teams. We have... we don't have... Two things that this game doesn't have right now is a viable heal team and a viable combo team. You have control teams, that's what Ben's for.
Late game team we do not have,
Yeah, we don't have a late game, like, just surge from behind just win.
If they survive past 2.5 minutes or something, then they're definitely going to win.
Oh, what a great skill that would be.
That would be so cool.
After 2.5 minutes, you're just more powerful.
Cool.
That would make fighting the AI... But we're getting off topic. But Lando... Cool guy.
That would be really cool.
Sweet moustache. Needs a little bit of help from his friends.
A little bit.
He'll get by.
Yeah.
With a little help.
This is,
you know he has.
You know, right to the Beatles song? Yeah. Do you need...
All right, Lando number 8.
All right. Number 7, Maul. Darth Maul.
Maul. Darth Maul.
And then the
Double O pinhead. Yeah. You know what this guy needs? Some health.
Little bit of health. little bit of health from my friends.
A little bit or a lot of health?
Yeah, probably
he
about double.
A ridiculously low amount of health.
I remember seeing him in top 10 a couple days ago. I don't know why somebody
I have
had
a
him.
fellow who runs in my top, not top 10, but
I
he's
actually
there.
looked 3 times because I was fighting him. I was like, and then I went back and looked at his thing. I was like, do you have him at 7 stars? Do you have him at level 80? Because there's no way a character could be
Look, any big spending player of this game has a 7-star, or has the potential to make a 7-star.
No. I just
he drops like crazy from chromiums, but it's just one of those things where no one wants to, because he's like a self-contradicting character.
Yeah,
he is a character who shines when in the end game, because he continues to attack based on people that are killed.
Yeah.
Except he can't survive to the end game because he has 9,000 something health. Yeah. He has under 10,000 health.
Yeah.
You just kill him. Like
just like Barris, just
just
kill you. Yeah.
Cover him in a mountain of wet noodles. It doesn't matter. Like he has a self-defeating kit, and that's sad because again. We'd like to focus on the game mechanics because we're nerds, but we also like to focus on the stories because we're nerds.
Yeah.
And he's Darth Maul. He's got a double-ended lightsaber.
I mean, I never liked him in the movies, but I can see that.
But
people
I know a lot of 12-year-olds that love Darth Maul.
Yeah, I feel like the less I've watched those movies, like.
The cooler he is in your mind?
There's a direct correlation with...
He just looks so good.
Yeah,
I think that's it. He's like a combination of
the last time I saw him in the movies and to now.
Yeah.
The cooler he gets.
He's like Pinhead mixed with the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
He's just...
Boom. Yeah. Alright, that was perfect. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, Asajj. She's on everybody's list for maybe she could be a little bit better.
Yeah. A couple farming her now.
Yeah, really?
Oh, you're going for Asajj? I'm going Scoundrels.
I mean, I think she's got a place in, raids and stuff. And
AoE debuff is nothing to turn your nose up at.
She's crazy slow. She's stupid. But
just too
I'm
slow.
Just hoping she'll get better.
I think that addresses the problem, is that, man, you just buff her speed a little tiny bit.
Well, our guild leader gets to first with her every day.
Yeah, that's true, man.
And patron,
I just
max respect.
I feel. What else does he run on that comp?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I do. He's got a Dooku lead and Asajj and.
Oh, there you go.
I heard
as slow as she wants.
Yeah, as long as you can dodge all those attacks.
No. I give him stick for that. His team's pretty interesting, and it is cool in its originality. He runs Dooku, Asajj, Rey. I want to say I've forgotten the rest, but it's an interesting team. It is not a conventional Dooku team.
I honestly think she's okay. If you're playing as Asajj, she's awesome. But the thing that really sucks is her AI. Her AI is the worst thing.
Yeah.
She's so slow.
Yeah.
It takes forever for her to have a turn, and then she's like, gonna do nothing.
But you know what? That just isn't
that
enough.
Self-heal when she's not damaged?
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, I don't know, an AoE grenade that just takes a little tiny bit away.
Yeah.
Just so she can do nothing.
No, you don't even need to do that. Sometimes she just
full
does it.
Protection for no reason.
She will have full health and heal herself. When she has crit up and damage and offense up, and she's like, oh well, I wouldn't want to use that. I would rather just heal.
She's the
0 hit
points.
Like,
that would hurt someone.
Yeah.
But
she's a bit like Talia. She hurts herself for the good of your opponent.
For
this
herself.
isn't enough of an argument though, because we're talking about droids all the time. They have severe drawbacks on defense, and to say that her drawback on defense makes it where she shouldn't be viable, that isn't the case. Like she should still be viable in attack.
Well, in attack, you've already told us why she's not.
No.
Yeah.
I disagree.
She's too slow.
The
in her primary
droid's drawback on defense are here. Asajj's drawback on defense is there. It's so far apart.
Droids, I guess the droids can luck into it every once in a while, whereas if she's just going to stand there and do nothing.
The gods of AI just make your droids target the actual threat on the opponent's team, not the perceived threat, which is weird because I don't know how the AI is programmed. We don't know this. But, like, I feel like Qui-Gon is this weird AI target. Yeah. And like, in most games, like, Qui-Gon is not that much of a threat. Yeah. Because he doesn't do that much damage. Yeah, he's going to take your taunt away, but, like, whatever. If it's RG, it's just going to come back anyway. Yeah. Like, you know, it's one of those weird things where they'll see a Rey or a Leia. And we talked a lot about Rey and Leia, but let's face it. At this moment in time, June the whatever.
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Asajj, right?
Asajj, yeah.
No,
but it definitely feels like with those guys, with droids, at least you're coin flipping when you're doing defense, but Asajj is trying to cut the coin in half and eat it.
Yeah, she's just punching herself in the face.
Yeah.
She really is.
I want her to be good, because that AoE debuff is huge.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to use it on defense, and she won't use it right.
On offense, the thing I really like about her is when someone dies, she's just like, I'm stronger, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to waste that whole thing.
Yeah. But, too, if she was just a little bit faster, too, she could address teams like the JE team, you know, where, they're going to get their whole attack off, but they're not going to get the second round off.
Yeah.
If she can do the mass dispel, you know, and then that brings it into balance, where it's like, okay, you're going to get your first attack off with your crits, and if you can get that, if you can snipe that guy, then that's okay.
Well, Patron's going to be loving this because his whole thing, he said, that droid team has an Achilles heel, and it's called Asajj. And my response was, that would be a very valid point if Asajj didn't punch herself in the face for the entire time that she plays.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she does. Kind of like Talia. She spends too much time, like, sabotaging herself to be effective.
Yeah.
All
right, let's go to our next guy, and it is Anakin. Now, when we were debating the order that we would put the list in, Anakin was definitely a possible candidate for third. He's in fourth right now, and we will get to the candidate of third. You know,
if we don't lose our list.
If we don't lose the list. And the reason we kind of debated between the two was because we really like Anakin as character, and we also really like his kit more so. And he has a really interesting kit. Joe, you're very passionate about his kit. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I like Anakin because on both counts, like we talked about at the beginning of the video, this is a combination of characters we love, or in the case of Anakin, probably don't, from the movies.
I didn't really mind him, to be honest.
I don't know, Hayden Christensen's my boy.
Yeah, the way you put so many eyes on that boy makes me think he might be lying.
That's a good one.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not from
street
that part
lingo.
of town. I'm not from that part of town. I'm from the United Kingdom where we say what we mean. And
or you don't at all.
Or we don't, just so we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But my thing with Anakin is he has both. Like, he's a beloved character from the movies. You know, really important. He's
if you're
freaking childhood Darth Vader, for Christ's sake. Like, how much cooler can you be as a character? They threw him in lava, didn't they?
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That's cooler.
That's true. But that is technically Anakin.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, his kit in gameplay mechanics is so interesting. He's the only... Well, there's other people that gain buffs when other characters die.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way that really is, like, vengeful.
Yeah.
And very kind of Anakin-like. Really, reflects his character.
His abilities reflect his story, his narrative, which is great for the game.
And then they just kind of nearly get there as well, which again is another one of our parameters. They nearly get there and then they just don't. We need the game.
Yeah.
You know, and we're talking about teams that can come from behind and win a game.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Danny?
Very.
Why are you laughing, Danny?
It doesn't matter.
This is adult talk right now.
Come from behind.
And that's what I just said.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about teams that can come from behind, this is what I have to deal with. It's my life.
We're very serious.
YouTube
channel.
Very serious YouTube channel. Definitely.
After hours. But, okay, here's my disagreements with this.
On
it's really hard.
Couch with Anakin Skywalker. And, he like, everything about him just really reflects back on his character, makes him super cool, and then he just kind of nearly does it in the game. And there was a point in the past, like one of the arguments against putting him on the list, I'm sure Danny will enlighten us, like,
yeah,
he had his moment.
He had his moment. There was, before Protection, I saw him on a lot of Jedi teams, a lot of Jedi speed teams.
Yeah.
And he friggin' totaled my team.
When people were running Qui-Gon lead for the actual reason of running Qui-Gon lead, before it was just, I want Qui-Gon to go first.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Anakin had his day. He was great, and he pissed me off, and that's exactly what a character needs to do to be in top tier, and he was there. So I just really don't think he belongs on this list. I mean, you know, he had his day, and I'm sure it'll come back.
He was in the meta. Top tier there, though, was he?
He just wasn't. He had. You're talking about he had his day. He had his 15 seconds.
Yeah, he had his.
That was a very small meta.
Yeah,
like it was a short meta. But I see what you mean.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. All right, let's go on to number 3. Number 3 is our hairiest best friend, and it's not Danny. It is Chewie.
It's also Danny. Yeah, Chewie just needs to be better, right?
He could get so close. Yeah. Let's go through all the beauties of Chewie. Number 1, he has turn meter reduction
on his primary.
On his primary, which is insane, and that's great.
But it's not
enough. Okay, well, we're going through his beauties.
Sorry. Yep.
Don't.
Sorry, Chewie. Right, you're a cool guy. Let's
turns out
tell you
after hours, Danny is a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm a sad
we finished the first episode. We're just like,
don't agree with you.
Go home.
And I did it. Yeah. And I was like, let's do another episode.
All right. He has turn meter reduction. Then he has a taunt, which is really nice. And he has a taunt which lasts 2 turns. And to be honest,
it lasts 1 turn, unless you Omega ability. Then it lasts 2 turns.
Who's not going to do that?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Right. How can you give a guy as big as Chewie 1 turn taunt?
Oh wait, we're talking about his nice things, aren't we, Grace?
Yes. We're going to get to that point. Omega stuff too. That will come around to the point where nobody gives a hoot about. I was like, be careful, Greg.
PG Greg.
I'll bet PC Greg. Yeah,
PC Greg as well. He didn't want to offend any Wookiees, and he didn't.
All right. No one will care about Omega stuff after a while because it'll be like candy. Everyone will have a little tiny piece every day, and that's how candy works.
It's just a government candy grab.
Everyone gets a little piece every day.
It'll be like taxes. Everyone gets it once a year. It's the big bag of candy.
Okay.
You decide what you want to do with it.
Are you done talking about good Chewie?
No, I'm not done.
All right.
Yes. All right. And last is final. You don't have to.
I made a weird noise.
You don't have to run a healer.
He can heal himself. All right.
You take it away.
I'll take it away. Yeah. The main 2 problems with Chewie
is that he's covered in hair.
Does not last long enough. Even if you may Omega him and waste your Omegas currently.
To get an Omega for the taunt that everyone else has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should even last longer than 2. He just doesn't last long enough. And his health isn't there. Yeah, he can revive his health, but... a taunt with low health?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about, like, the importance of a button press. And to use a button press to get the worst heal for yourself ever.
Yeah.
Like, he gets his defense up as well.
I think, too, what was
that sound.
Pushing him down before, especially, was the predominance of Sid, right? Darth Sidious was that he had heal immunity, and so people were running Chewie tank at the time. This is a long time ago. Yeah. But then it basically rendered his third ability useless.
Yeah, because he can use his own ability.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, I think here, with this character, you really need to get to the point where you're going to start tweaking their actual abilities. I think it would be interesting if on his third ability, instead of a heal, he had something of the sort of, I would really like to see an ability where it gives you immunity for the next turn. Like, complete immunity. You're not gonna die.
He just went somewhere else for a little bit?
No.
Just walks up.
He just went over a snack.
Yeah,
just found some jerky or whatever it is.
Something like that. Where and also it would work as like I know I was talking about WoW, but an old school dwarf passive racial of a stone
wood
form.
Elves, right?
Not wood elves. No, wood elves are cliche. Man. All right.
I tend to think of them as classic.
A dwarf passive at the time was a stone form where you'd kind of cleanse yourself at the time. So what I'm thinking is, instead of this,
he just kind of huddles in and then just weathers the storm for a time. Yeah,
right?
Becomes a hairball. That's cool.
Takes away all his debuffs, gives himself immunity. Maybe he's gonna stay in taunt form, maybe not. I don't know, depending on how it is. But something like that, just give him the chance where, okay, if you're gonna, because I feel like with a lot of these characters, we can either say give them more damage, give them more health, right? With this guy, maybe give it a little bit of a unique ability there where he can make himself immune, either to weather a storm or to keep being in a taunt, but even though he's slow, he can be in taunt form and then be immune the next turn.
Yeah,
and that would be insane.
Think could happen. I don't think it would really change much. I still don't think I'd ever see any Chewies, but it would just be fine. Would just his little heal thing, heal himself back up to full health.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a bit gross, but yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, his health isn't even that big of an issue. Because
most
if you
of the time,
taunt and then get nailed and then heal up to full health and then taunt again.
No, but
but the cooldown. I mean, you don't have to do. It's not going to be every turn. It's fine.
Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I feel like too I think due to his speed, there would be a good chance that you would kill him by that time. And he
True, yeah. If they were going to move one of the sliders up, how you imagine it like a
like a mixing board,
like a mixing board, and you like crank the health up to max.
Yeah,
like if you're going to pull up some of the sliders, like you have to leave the health. You'd have to leave him as like a vulnerable taunt.
Yeah.
If you wanted to give him more fun and games. I mean, that's what makes RG so awful and excellent is that like he has health and utility just cranked up to max.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and everything is at 0 after that, but it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter because he's done his job.
Yeah. All right, let's go on. So our top 2, we really kind of debated on this for a long time. However, we came to the conclusion it was a democratic conclusion.
Actually, I would kind of argue that these 2 slid in so quickly. And we argued the bottom 8 more than the top 2.
Yeah,
that's true.
These 2 were so like
I think they're pretty solid. Yeah.
Sticking out to us so much that we were like, oh, "Come on, like you've got to make these guys better."
All right, let's talk about our second pick. So at number 2 comes in our man Kylo Ren, the most emo guy in the Star Wars galaxy.
Speaking of Taking Back Sunday,
yeah,
this guy's got it just piping into his helmet.
He's not just cutting himself; he's cutting his own father.
Yeah.
He's dark. It gets gloomy.
He's listening to it backwards,
Yeah,
like they used to do on metal records in the 70s.
He's looking for messages from the dark side, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then backwards is going,
yeah, exactly.
All right, so man, that's on the internet now. That's
happens when you make a crappy
so far.
podcast.
Greg said something embarrassing. Greg looked at some muscly dude for like 10 minutes.
Check. We've done it all this episode.
Alright, anyways, so on a Kylo Ren.
We just need one of us to fall asleep, and this is basically all of our Friday nights.
Now, one of our arguments about not having Kylo Ren in this list, because obviously as we get to the top of this list, you're starting to get to characters that are kind of viable in some ways. Kylo Ren is viable in some comps. There are definitely people that are running comps where they're running like gross things, like an old Ben lead with 5s, Kylo Ren, Kit Fisto, and I don't know, Plu Kloon or something like that. It's a great defense comp. It'll keep you up there. Basically says to anyone below the top 30, don't touch.
Yeah.
You know? But once we get to that point,
yeah, he's like that's like a 20s range.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really definitely the point where it's just you don't drop below a certain thing, but you're not really going to use him to climb. Yeah. Now, I feel like we have to make one, exception is that we aren't really talking from experience here. None of us run Kylo Ren, and none of us have 7-star Kylo Ren at any point.
Farming him.
Yeah, I'm also farming him too, but it's I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, let's talk about the beauties of Kylo Ren first, and don't mess me up, like the Chewie thing, okay?
I'll shut my mouth.
Yeah. All right. So
shut your mouth. I just wanted to say
Red
I'm fine again.
All right, Kylo Ren. He has a healing immunity. He has retribution. I didn't even know what you were doing there.
Did I mess you up?
All right, yeah.
I didn't know what you were doing. I just started touching your hands.
He's got retribution.
He has a healing immunity. He has retribution, and he has a ton of health, which is great because he's one of those guys where you're like, all right, I'm not going to kill that guy first, and I'm not going to kill him last, but when am I going to kill him? Yeah. And it's definitely
the answer is when retribution is not up.
Yeah. Or
some
the
window
time when I know I'm going to stun him, or the time where I can ability block him.
There is a window. You have to wait it out.
Yeah, you really have to do. And so he has a beauty in that. However, as we said, one of our parameters here is that they have to be a popular character. Yeah, there's mixed reviews of Kylo Ren. However, right now...
Those guys are wrong, because Kylo Ren's cool.
Yeah,
he's pretty cool.
Kylo Ren's cool. And so, if we go on that idea, and also his kit is pretty interesting, then he should be really good.
Yeah, and I think, added to that, the kind of hubbub that was made about him when they released him. Do you remember when the Force Awakens stuff came out? They basically described Chromium packs as the highest chance to get Kylo Ren.
I remember that.
A good chance to get Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
You, don't buy this, you'll never get Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Like,
then you'll be a loser without
Kylo
Ren.
They sold him as this guy that was going to just
destroy the game.
Completely change the game, and then he did for a bit. Because again, like if we're looking at that mixer board of like how do you make a character, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it wasn't a huge window, but like you're looking at that mixer board of how you make a character. They cranked the health up to max.
Yeah.
They cracked the interesting kit up to max, and they just left. Like it was. Yeah.
You know where he does shine is when you go into Galactic War, and you see
you fight against
him and Sid and Darth Vader and Fives on the same team, and you're just thinking, wow, my health is going to go down to next to none, and I'm going to have to move on.
Because everyone is
Rey on that team.
Yeah.
Everyone's building those defensive galactic war teams right now.
I really don't think... How can you build a defensive galactic war team? I don't know how they do it.
No one even knows how they select the teams.
Right?
It's
very odd, because sometimes you're just like, there's no way somebody built this team.
Yeah, I was facing one just the other day with the Genosian soldier lead, and I was like...
No, impossible.
On like node 8, you know, not even like one of those early ones that you just breeze through on auto.
Yeah. Anyways, Kylo Ren.
I do like Kylo Ren. It is kind of weird that Kylo does seem the most threatening in Galactic War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like a sign of a character that needs a tweak, and that's why he's on our list.
That's true, because I feel like Galactic War is your stepping stone to getting into the big leagues, the arena, that kind of stuff. And
unless you're Sid, in which case it's just been your home for this whole time.
Yeah. Well,
no, he
was
at
the beginning.
Yeah, he was very good.
He was good.
He's just like an old man, just rusting.
Yeah.
In the Galactic Wars.
Talking about the good old days.
Yeah.
Remember when I used to be top of the
arena?
Yeah. When people used to run healers.
Yeah.
All right. Our last one. So, number 1. The guy that we really want to be there because we love him and he's a great character.
Such a cool dude.
Yeah, and he has a great kit. It is Boba Fett.
Great helmet, too.
Yeah. Great helmet, great jetpack.
If it wasn't for that New Zealand accent, I would totally drink with him all the time.
Oh my god, the New Zealand accent.
All our 2 New Zealand viewers, you were obviously turned off by this.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, but the remastered versions with when they just threw the New Zealand accent on top of it is the worst
now
thing.
I know what you're talking about. I thought you were just talking about the dude. I love that guy because he was in Once Were Warriors, and that was great.
Django Fett, great. Little baby Boba Fett, great.
Yeah,
but then retroactively replacing in the remastered versions Boba Fett.
Whatever.
It's just so wrong. What did you add to the movie by doing that apart from
we're getting off track. We're getting off track. This has been a long video.
We like Star Wars, it turns out. And the more juice we drink, the more we like Star Wars.
Alright, so with this, the reason we chose Boba Fett as our first character is because, man, number one, I farmed him to death when I first started playing this game because I was like, this guy is going to be good.
It's Boba Fett.
So
sure Boba Fett.
That he was going to be good.
There is no way Boba Fett cannot be good.
He has a self-revive. Mm-hmm. And if you run DACA with him...
But his self-revive doesn't only happen once. It can happen twice.
Forever.
It can happen 3 times.
It has the Kylo Ren disease where, like, in Galactic War... Early on, remember that when you get Boba revived 7 times in a friggin' row.
And he comes back with like real good turn meter.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's awful. Yeah.
He has an ability block, which in this current meta is great. Mm-hmm. However, it's only great if you can get it out before someone else ability blocks you, aka Old Ben.
Yeah.
Right. Or as we're talking about, maybe HK47 or IG88, not AG88. Yeah. So. What is not holding him back? What's good about it?
The good thing, as we already said, is his kit.
Yeah,
you literally just mentioned
his
all of it.
helmet. What's holding him back?
Repeat what I just said, guys.
So what's holding him back is his speed and his health.
Yeah.
If we're on the mixer of what makes a good character,
fine, sure.
He's getting belligerent now. This is what happens in the after hours on the couch with a bunch of idiots.
Maybe I meant to say, what's holding him back, guys?
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to say.
Something like that.
Rewind.
Yeah. All right, so I agree with you.
Yeah.
His speed, his health, especially too his speed. I feel like with his health. Because there's such a good chance of him reviving that especially, imagine if his speed was good and in this meta you would
his
have
potency was up, so that ability block stuck.
Yeah, so it stuck a bit. Then in this meta you would think, gosh, I mean, I could try and kill him, but what if he does come back? If he comes back, it would be like the most abusive dodge. It would be like, I dodged all of the tons of damage that you did before.
It's kind of like what DACA added, where you just be like, well, I'm going to focus down so-and-so.
Yeah.
But there's always that chance that they... And it's always been the thing that annoyed me most is there's no animation. It's just... boink! And then just back up.
But honestly, his attack is also lower, too. Like, I think if there was a missing board of, things to add to this character, there would be the middle... And everything would just be like, boom, right there.
Yeah.
You know? Like
that little mixer we're talking about?
Yeah.
Just pull it all down
just a little bit down.
It's got a hard damper.
He sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks in every build.
Even in kit is cool, but everything else sucks.
No, it's funny because with our ideas that we wanted to go with
Star Wars potentially.
Exactly. And he is the coolest character and he has great kit. However, he's just any of the other characters that we just talked about could have been great, right? They're getting there. They have niches, but he is just so off on the wayside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's never fitting anywhere. I'm sorry, Boba. I would hang out with you. Lose the accent.
Move to a real country, and then we can hang out.
Not PC at all.
Yeah, well, I've offended.
It's fine to offend really nice countries.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. They like a bit of that.
They'll take it on the back.
Yeah, no. The Kiwis like a bit of that. They're into come back.
All right. I think we should leave it at that.
Yeah, I think
this is a truly after hours episode. And I really hope if you've made it to the end with us here that you will continue to watch the episodes and just stay with the Ritual Gaming family.
5.
Up next week, episode 15, we'll get Rob
Zombie. Rob Zombie will be on the show. Stay tuned.
And his clown friends.
This is great. Danny and Joe just getting to know her.